weirdest thing was I knew that from a credibility standpoint, because X3 looks very different than regular training, a lot of people have been said there's no hand work, or it doesn't do anything, or nothing ought to be better than weights, whatever, like I think it's really funny when about anything, somebody's that close-minded. It's like you do realize that, like, at some point somebody rolled down the street with the first car and everybody's like, yeah, well, I know they put gasoline in my horse, and they thought the car was ridiculous. Well, how many people arrived here today on a horse? Fucking zero. So, better things do come along. You should be able to pay attention. And so I see variable resistance as vastly superior, especially from the perspective of I'm not a genetic outlier.
We've got two different origin stories, both of which start in the garage, both of which start essentially out of passion and a search for better ways to do things and a search for improvement. And both end up intersecting at variable resistance, at some of these fundamental things within the strategy. Now, with the X3 Westside program coming to you guys very, very soon, I'm curious, I'd like to hit both of you guys with this as almost a note to end on. And that's how you've benefited or how you utilize what is coming from this connection. So Tom, will be asking you, obviously, with the idea of having X3 as a tool. Kind of like John said, like this is a tool that strength coaches can take advantage of, or obviously hundreds of thousands of people can take advantage of for better results. But I'm curious about your perspective there. And then Doc, to be honest, I'd like to end up asking you in terms of some of the ideas from Westside, how you see that coming to benefit the X3 users. But Tom, if you're good with it, I'd love to start over here.
If you grant me a few minutes to kind of give some sort of backstory into
Please.
Variable resistance into here, which will lead into answering your question. Dick Hartzell, through a coach, Dave Williams, put resistance bands in Louis' forefront, and then he went to a clinic and was like, I must have these. Then they put bands on everything. They put them on bars, put them on machines. They used too much bands, too little bands. They really pioneered how resistance bands are worked within the resistance training world. And from there, Louis was sold. Like, variable resistance is a huge part. It's in our DNA. Now, we come from two different worlds. Like, our job, we want to make our athletes better. And we'll do anything for that. We'll try to fix that problem. So we will use whatever tools are at our disposal. And I said it's very important that if you look at a strength coach, look at their toolbox of what they're bringing with them. And band training has always been in there since it was brought in the 90s. So we pushed forward. They've been using that for accommodating resistance, for speed work primarily. But we started doing a lot more joint work, especially for high rep extensions and leg curls to develop the connective tissue. And it came from some of the big benchers and deadlifters here. And for me, I remember a gentleman called Sonny. He was a big bencher, and he was doing high reps. He was actually a professional drag motorbike racer. I'm not for sure what the term is, but it was a pretty cool demographic he was in. But his joints were so thick, and I'm like, oh, you don't really see that nowadays, really thick joints. And they started adding mass too. And you're like, oh, but we didn't do it for the mass, we did it for the joint properties. Then the professional athletes came in, and their time and their structure is way different. They don't have access to here all the time because they travel all around. If you're in the NFL, you're here for 8 weeks, then you're gone to OTAs, then you're back in. So we're like, well, we need some sort of consistent training apparatus that they can use, but they don't really need a coach there with them. Once they know the fundamentals of it, it's going to give carryover in a safe way. And then that's where we came across John's work. We're like, oh, this is something that looks so simple is to us is like genius, because you can make something really complicated, but to make something simple that works takes a lot longer than what people think. And we started using a version of it, and then we got it. And for our athletes, we now have a traveling system to where they can go with the X3, they can work out in hotels, they can work out on the go. When they got 15 minutes in between events, they can do it. And more so now we're pushing for the warm-ups before events. Right now we find ourselves with some of the best grapplers in the world. And we have our grapplers, because you can't do this with straight weight. You can't get a barbell with 135, lie down on the floor and try shrimp and try brace. That's just not going to work. But with the X3, you can get in these rather unique angles and have tension and load coming to you. So now you can generate force mimicking what you're going to do in your sport, which is really SPP. Now we're big on GPP, but the SPP portion of that, we never have access to train, and X3 has given us that.
So for those watching who aren't familiar with those terms, GPP is general physical preparedness. It's generally being in shape. You're building muscle overall. You're building work capacity and fitness overall. SPP is specific to a task. So specific strength in this case for grapplers or for anyone with a particular goal.
And now our athletes they're able to put on muscle. They're able to develop parts of their body when they're traveling, which wasn't an option. And from a coach's perspective, and like one who works with athletes, I don't worry about an issue of injury happening because of negligence. Because of the X3, you can actually do a lot. You can do a lot more stuff safely, just like partial range of motion or to failure. You can actually do to failure and keep coming down without worrying about a barbell dropping. And maybe because I'm here and I don't have trust issues or something. But if you have spotters, they better be really good if you're doing repetition to failure. And I see so many spotters outside of here who will be looking everywhere on their phone, like not paying attention to the athlete.
You girls.
Yeah.
But to where it just provides peace of mind. And like we've been working with variable resistance since the 90s. So like we were sold, and the tool, like you have to see this as a very important tool that you have. We'll always have weights, we'll always have that, but we'll always have X3 too. Because why wouldn't I have this very powerful tool at our disposal that can travel anywhere they go?
Dynamite. And Doc, similar but opposite question. Is there a particular aspect within the Westside methodologies or some of the ideas that has been most important to you?
Well, the best thing was, I mean, you and I were friends before this experience.
Yeah.
You had trained here, and we met. You know the story. We met at a fundraiser for RFK actually, and so we started talking. You mentioned Westside, and I was like, yeah, X3, and you're like, yeah, I definitely know what that is. And like I didn't realize, because I had talked to other Westside athletes before. I even talked to Mark Bell about X3, and you know, he was a trainer here for a period of time, and his focus is like it's quite a bit different. Like he's working on his podcast, he's working on health as athletes age. Like he's just not in the place where his head is like, okay, I want to get people as strong as possible. And he had that phase in life, and I think now he just sort of looks at it and it doesn't necessarily resonate with what he's doing. So I never really met the right person. And then when we started talking, I was like, man, it's a shame Craig's not working at Westside. And then so it was like 6 months later, you'd be like, dude, I'm going back to Westside. I'm going to be head of education. And then I'm like, great. Like, how about we work together with X3? And you were already thinking that. And the weirdest thing was, I knew that from a credibility standpoint, because X3 looks very different than regular training, a lot of people have been said there's no way it can work, or it doesn't do anything, or nothing will be better than weights, whatever, you know. Like, I think it's really funny when about anything somebody's that close-minded. It's like you do realize that, like, at some point somebody rolled down the street with the first car, and everybody's like, yeah, well, I know they put gasoline in my horse, and you know, they thought the car was ridiculous. Well, how many people arrived here today on a horse? Fucking zero. So, you know, I mean, better things do come along. You should be able to pay attention. And so I see variable resistance as vastly superior, especially from the perspective of I'm not a genetic outlier. I'm probably one of the few people who been in his building who wasn't really born to be strong. Like I was born to be not strong. Because when I lift weights, nothing happens. Like I stimulate nothing. Volume trade, nothing. I have very disadvantageous tendons where they connect. So like my origin pectoral's here, the insertion is right at the top of the humerus bone, whereas most strength athletes have an insertion that's further down the bone. So they have just an advantage. They basically have a band inside their body that's forcing their arms to go straight. So, and I knew that 99% of the population is like me. It's not like those genetic outliers who are great strength. So we're at building strength, we're at building muscle. So I knew that when we all got together, I was like, man, I hope they really like the way that this thing works, because all of the answers I came up with were based on research, not working with athletes. And you guys have done both. And so I was like, they might not like some of the movements, or they might be like, okay, half the shit you do is wrong, and we're going to have to change that. And I was pleasantly surprised to find out that the standard program, it wasn't full of errors. And even some of the things that I was doing are exactly the same thing that you guys are showing people. And then, of course, you showed me with 10 other ways to use it, which I wouldn't have.
That is probably a perfect high note.
Yep.
With that in mind, one, we've got a ton more content like this coming, as well as the X3 Westside program, where people can continue to learn some of those things that you're alluding to. I'm trying to catch the doc before he gives you too much of a preview into those. But we've got all of that coming. But in the meantime, if you have questions about some of the ideas we're talking about, some of the things we're doing, drop them below this video. We can either answer them in the comments, or for bigger questions, there'll be a topic that you see a video on in the future. But speaking solely for myself, I'm very excited about where this is going, and I'm excited about the results you guys are going to see from it. Any final notes, gentlemen?
It's an honor and pleasure.
Good. Yeah, it is an honor.
Then we'll catch you in the next one.
If this video helped you, I want you to subscribe and follow. I'm going to put out videos on a regular basis. I think they're going to help a whole lot of people, especially if you're one of those people that doesn't just instantly grow from lifting regular weights. We've got the answer for you.